Chapter 100, Refining the Sword Sheath. This was a very large cave with countless small holes on its walls. Wang Lin's divine sense came out of one of those small holes. In the center of the room was a huge coffin. This coffin looked very normal. In fact, there weren't even any decorations on it at all, but waves of powerful yin energy were being released from the coffin. The yin energy turned into white gas that was sucked into the countless holes. Wang Lin hesitated and observed the coffin for a while. Then, he attempted to check it out with his divine sense, and, to his surprise, he entered without any resistance. The coffin was completely empty except for a large hole. The yin energy was coming out of this hole. The yin energy was very dense. The waves of yin energy prevented Wang Lin's divine sense from seeing through it. In his own cave, Wang Lin's eyes revealed a determined light. In order to find out where this yin energy was coming from and why the bead could absorb this yin energy, he took out the gourd from his bag of holding and took a gulp without any hesitation. Even with Wang Lin's current physical condition, he couldn't help but shiver. He was quickly losing consciousness and his body became numb. Wang Lin didn't waste any time and quickly circulated the spiritual energy in his body to absorb the yin energy. As he absorbed the yin energy, his divine sense became more powerful. With the constant flow of energy, his divine sense charged into the hole in the coffin. His divine sense struggled inside the hole, and many times the yin energy almost scattered his divine sense. When he went down 400 meters or so, the yin energy formed a wall. Wang Lin clenched his teeth and took a large gulp of yin spirit liquid. He charged through the wall and was shocked by what he saw. An extremely large body was floating in the air. If Wang Lin were to compare his body to this giant, he would only be the size of the giant's finger. On the body were these strange, greenish-purple plants. The plants would move in a strange manner and the body would visibly shrink, but quickly grow back to normal. As the cycle continued, the purple plants rapidly released yin energy. Wang Lin was stunned. He spread out his divine sense, observed it for a while, and was stunned. This body was purposely left here by someone. Its purpose was to be nutrients for the greenish-purple plants. It was clear that the reason the corpse sect had this yin energy was due to these plants. Even the reason why the heaven-defying bead evolved must be these planets. Wang Lin felt that this place was very weird because the moment he entered, he had this feeling of danger. Just as he was about to leave, a difficult-to-understand voice could be heard. Wang Lin didn't say a word and attempted to withdraw his divine sense, but he was shocked to find out that the yin energy in the room was blocking him from leaving. Soon, the voice grew closer and closer until he was almost able to hear what it was saying. "Save me." Wang Lin decisively took the gourd and drank all of the remaining yin spirit liquid. His divine sense shook as he charged into the surrounding yin energy. Large amounts of yin energy entered his divine sense and mixed with the unabsorbed yin energy in his body, causing Wang Lin to cough out a mouthful of blood. By the time the blood was coughed out, it was already frozen solid. Even so, his divine sense broke through the obstacle and quickly returned to his body. He coughed out more frozen blood as he revealed a terrified expression. He didn't dare to check again and quickly began to cultivate to regulate his body. After a while, he opened his eyes and began to ponder as he stared at the holes in the wall. Time slowly passed, and in the blink of an eye, Wang Lin had already been at the corpse sect for 4 days. In these 4 days, aside from 3 days ago, when he explored underground with his divine sense, he didn't go out at all. He spent all this time collecting yin spirit liquid from the bead. During this time, the bead went from 2 leaves to 3 leaves. According to Wang Lin's calculations, the total number of leaves should be the same as the clouds from before, a total of 10. Wang Lin also knew from previous experience that each leaf would take longer than the last. If he just continued like this, then it would take years before he could complete the wood element. But the corpse sect was not a place he could stay in for long. He decided to check that place out once again to find a way for his body to enter. If he could get some of that plant, he was sure he could make the bead evolve much faster. But the danger of doing this was simply too great. Even Wang Lin was unsure. After pondering for a long time, he gave up on going down there in person. He understood that with his current cultivation level, no matter how careful he was, the chances of him being able to get some of that greenish-purple plant were low, and that he was more likely to lose his life. After thinking about the situation, he knew that it was not safe. After he made up his mind, he slapped his bag of holding, and an ancient-looking sword sheath floated before him. After Wang Lin obtained this sword sheath, he had only refined it once after he stole Tang Li's foundation. Although he didn't successfully refine it, he gained some control over it, but the effect wasn't great. He had only been able to make the flying sword sink 3/5 of the way in. Wang Lin had studied this sword sheath many times. Even Sidhu Nan said that this sword sheath was very strange and was more valuable than the small flying sword that went through blood refining. Wang Lin's eyes lit up as he muttered. Sun Hao said before that he found this sword and sword sheath inside an ancient cave, and that besides his master, only people who had reached the core formation stage could refine it. There are truths and lies in this. It is not that you can't refine it if you are below the core formation stage. It is just the amount of time and spiritual energy it takes is too great. Once you have reached the core formation stage, the fire in one's core shortens the process greatly. Unfortunately, the blood refining technique can only be used on one item. If it could be used on both at the same time, then things would be much easier. Wang Lin didn't even blink as he stared at the sword sheath. In order to increase the power of his flying sword, he must try to refine this sword sheath again. Although he didn't have a core, he did have a cold core from cultivating the underworld ascension method. All of the spiritual energy in his body was managed by the cold core in his body. Wang Lin had studied it for a while, but Sidhu Nan once told him that a cold core was far from a real core, and that unless it was a last resort, his cold core shouldn't leave his body. After the cold core leaves the body for a period of time, it dissipates, meaning that he would have to form another one. The first time he refined the sword sheath was when he first entered the foundation establishment stage. Now that he has cultivated the underworld ascension method, not to mention the change in quality of his spiritual energy, his spiritual energy itself had also increased greatly. He was now at the peak of early-stage foundation establishment and was only one step away from mid-stage foundation establishment, so it would be much easier this time. Thinking about that, Wang Lin opened his mouth and spat out a mouthful of yin spiritual energy. The moment the yin spiritual energy touched the sword sheath, a layer of frost covered the sword sheath. Wang Lin pointed with his finger, and the sword sheath slowly turned in the air while radiating a blue light. It looked very beautiful. Wang Lin's hand didn't stop as he shot out multiple beams of blue light. Every time the blue light touched the sword sheath would tremble. Gradually, Wang Lin's hand moved faster and faster, until it looked like there was a stream of light connecting Wang Lin's hand with the sword sheath, and the frequency of the sword sheath's trembling escalated. Large drops of sweat appeared on Wang Lin's forehead, but they were instantly frozen and fell to the ground. Wang Lin didn't have time to bother with that at all, as he quickly shot out a few more rays of blue light. Then, he quickly slapped his bag of holding and drank some yin spirit liquid before he continued to refine the sword sheath. Time slowly passed. After the sword sheath had trembled for such a long time, the blue light surrounding it went on and off. Slowly, a pentagon shape appeared on the sword sheath. After he saw the pattern, Wang Lin relaxed a bit. He no longer shot out blue rays of light and instead regulated the spiritual energy in his body as he thought, "My cultivation is about 5 times stronger than before." Sidhu Nan told me of a method that can force the formation on the sword sheath to appear by using my spiritual energy. Last time, I shot out 5,000 rays of spiritual energy before the formation appeared, but I was too tired to continue. This time, it appeared after only 1,000 rays. Although my cultivation level has increased a lot, it is still too far away from the core formation stage. Sidhu Nan said before that at the core formation stage, only a few rays of spiritual energy would force the formation to appear. He took a deep breath. His right hand formed a seal and pointed at his abdomen. His stomach shrank back in as he revealed a painful expression. His right hand slowly rose from his abdomen, and he opened his mouth as a blue orb the size of a baby's first floated out of his mouth. Wang Lin's face was pale. After breathing slowly for a bit, he quickly pointed at the cold core. Suddenly, The cold core melted into a puddle of blue liquid. Wang Lin's face became even more pale. There wasn't even a trace of blood, but Wang Lin's expression became even more serious as he carefully guided the melted cold core toward the sword sheath.